Today, there's a sense of relief as the world looks ahead to a Biden presidency.
From a Palestinian perspective, Trump has been an unmitigated disaster.
Many in Japan are also hopeful for a return to more normal diplomatic relations.
Giving you a sense, I think, really of all the work that now lies ahead for the Biden administration. I'm Clarissa Ward here in London, and it's interesting because definitely today there's a sense of relief as the world looks ahead to a Biden presidency. But it's not celebration or jubilation. It's more exhaustion after 4 years that for many people here in the UK, they found to be particularly chaotic. You see that in the newspaper headlines. So I wanted to show you a few of them. This is the Metro. It's a London daily. And you can see the headline here says simply, "At last, it's the back of Donald Trump." Then you've got the Daily Telegraph, and that says, "Biden to launch blitz on the age of Trump." Giving you a sense, I think, really of all the work that now lies ahead for the Biden administration in terms of mending fences with so many other countries, but also the work that lies ahead here in the UK for the British Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, because as much as he wants to see that special relationship between the US and the UK really thrive, it's going to be a tough start. And, you know, Biden was an opponent of Brexit, the UK's decision to leave the European Union. He's actually gone so far as to call Prime Minister Boris Johnson an emotional and physical clone of Donald Trump. And there's no question that Johnson has been really trying to distance himself from President Trump recently, particularly after the storming of the Capitol. He came out, he said that it was wrong for the president to continue to insist that he had won the election, that it was wrong for him to encourage people to incite the kind of violence that everyone across the world watched taking place in the Capitol. Last night, he released another statement saying that he congratulates President Biden, that he looks forward to the UK and the US working together on key target issues such as fighting COVID, climate change, issues where these two countries can hopefully work hand in hand.
Here in Japan, there's this feeling of relief, hope, and anxiety as Trump's presidency comes to an end. Japan is one of America's most important allies, and this alliance is so critical for Japan right now as they deal with a rising China and threats from North Korea. But what exactly did 4 years under Trump do for Japan? Well, actually, Trump had this close and personal relationship with Japan's former Prime Minister, Shinzo Abe. Abe supported Trump's aggressive policy on North Korea, and many here supported what they saw as Trump's hardline approach on China. In fact, after the U.S. elections, a group of people in Tokyo protested the results, saying that the U.S. election was rigged. But at the same time, many in Japan are also hopeful for a return to more normal diplomatic relations, a return to multilateralism, the U.S. working with friends and allies to combat climate change, deal with China, work on the global economy, and trade. This inauguration is coming after chaos. Japanese newspapers said what happened with America's Capitol riots is a danger to all democracies. Japan's Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga said he hopes America moves from conflict to unity. Over in China, there are also conflicting views about what the relationship will mean under a Biden presidency. Many saw this roller coaster ride from President Trump, in which he waged a trade war on China. He sanctioned top Chinese officials. He blacklisted top Chinese companies. Ties have spiraled to the lowest point in decades. And people in China recognize that even though Biden may take a more moderate approach, this tough line approach on China from Washington is not going to change. In fact, the competition will only intensify.
Here in Jerusalem's Jewish market, the biggest market in the city, there's frankly widespread indifference to the inauguration of Joe Biden. But that will not be the case in the corridors of power, particularly not where Benjamin Netanyahu is concerned, because he has been incredibly close to the US president and will be inevitably concerned about what a Biden administration is going to be for Israel. Will there be an unstinting level of support that he's seen from Trump, or will he come under pressure, as American administrations have made in the past, pressure on Israel to restart, for example, talks to the Palestinians? From a Palestinian perspective, Trump has been an unmitigated disaster. It is under his watch, effectively, that the US moved their embassy here to Jerusalem from Tel Aviv. It is the Trump administration that recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights, out of step with the international community. And it is under the Trump administration that relations with the Arab Gulf states have been normalized. But ultimately, the Biden administration will not represent any massive sea change in the relations with Israel. They won't be as warm necessarily as they were under Trump. But Joe Biden has been a staunch and unstinting supporter of the Jewish state throughout his career.